It's time to hit the brakes on your week's busy schedule. You're watching Money9's Weekend Corporate Special Companynama, giving you all the corporate and startup highlights of the week. I'm Shrestha Tiwari. Over to the corporate world updates first. HDFC Limited Chairman Deepak Parekh has said that the merger HDFC and HDFC Bank will be effective from 1st of July. To approve this merger, the board of HDFC Bank and HDFC Limited met on June 30th. The merger of HDFC Bank and HDFC Limited has got all the regulatory approvals. HDFC Vice Chairman and CEO K.K. Mistry has said that the company's shares will be delisted on July 13th. The merger of these two companies was announced in April last year, and the new company will have assets worth about 18 lakh crore rupees. After the merger, 100% stake in HDFC Bank will be held by the public, and existing shareholders of HDFC Limited will hold 41% stake in the bank. Shareholders of HDFC Limited will get 42 shares of HDFC Bank for every 25 shares held. Bharti Airtel on Monday announced changes to its leadership team in Airtel Business. Ajay Chitkara, CEO of Airtel Business, has decided to move on from Airtel. He will continue with the company until the third week of August 2023. In a regulatory filing, the company has said that consequently, Airtel Business will operate as three business and channel segments: global business led by Vani Venkatesh, domestic business led by Ganesh Lakshminarayanan, and Nextra data centers led by Ashish Arora. Reliance Jio Infocom is in talks to raise a loan for about $1.6 billion to fund the purchase of equipment from Nokia. Reportedly, banks involved in the discussions with Jio include Citigroup, HSBC Holdings, and JP Morgan Chase. The loan will likely have a maturity of 15 years and will be priced over the secured overnight financing rate. As the deal has not yet been finalized, the lineup of banks and the terms may still change. In another news, Reliance Industries is testing a consumer durables financing program under the Jio brand at select Reliance digital outlets before a full-fledged launch of Jio Financial Services later this year. TCS has fired 6 employees and banned 6 business associate firms for violating ethical conduct following allegations of bribes in recruitment. Tata Sons chairperson N. Chandrasekaran on Thursday said that TCS will review and tighten its supplier management process to ensure that such incidents are not repeated. 2 complaints about the involvement of TCS executives in jobs for bribes were reported, he said. The US complaint is being investigated by an external investigator. TCS works with over 1,000 third-party recruitment firms, and the RMG division involved in the scam handles less than 2 to 3% of the total hiring requirement, he has said. Centre has allowed ZTE, a Chinese telecom gear maker, to provide optical transmission equipment worth 200 crore rupees to Vodafone Idea for the updation of its network in Gujarat, Maharashtra and MP. ZTE and Huawei have also applied to become a trusted source. The trusted source tag is required for a company to be eligible to get fresh telecom network equipment contracts. Meanwhile, Vodafone Idea subscribers have declined for the 25th month in a row in April, with even 4G users switching to rival operators' 5G network. As per a Jefferies report, Vodafone Idea's 4G subscriber losses in April 2023 were the second highest 4G subscriber losses in 2 years, which suggests that 5G rollouts by Bharti and Jio are taking away VIL's customers. VIL has been struggling to invest in rolling out new 5G networks without any fresh funding. Banks are yet to give fresh loans to the telecom operator, given the large debt on its balance sheet. And while we talk about corporates, which were the giants that were surrounded by controversies this week, on the radar this week, let's find out and take a look. The week saw a lot of action at Byju's valuation cut, EPF dues, court cases and whatnot. On Thursday, founder and CEO Byju Ravindran told a town hall that things were not as bad as they were made out to be. He did not comment on the wave of layoffs in the company, but commenting on auditor Deloitte's exit, he said that it was a mutual separation after the audit for last year was delayed. On the issue of directors quitting, he said that it was due to the difference over strategic issues. Earlier in a meeting with shareholders, Ravindran accepted the past mistakes and said that the valuation was intact at $22 billion. But that was not echoed by tech investor Process, who cut the company's valuation by almost 75% to just $5.1 billion. Earlier in the week, the parent company of Byjus, Think and Learn, remitted 123 crore rupees provident fund dues of employees for the period of August 2022 to May 2023. On the valuation front, the EdTech received another jolt but it was not all gloom for Byjus. A US court has rejected a plea by lenders to investigate the $500 million transfer made by subsidiary Alpha to other entities. Another lender, Davidson Kempner Capital, is not fully dispersing a loan for $250 million as it reviews the lending decision. And like Byjus, the Adani Group also remained in focus during the week. The shares of 3 companies of the Adani Group are on the radar of markets regulator SEBI. According to a report, this matter is related to Adani Power, Adani Green and Ambuja Cement. It has been said in the report that SEBI suspects insider trading in some dealings in the shares of these 3 companies. Next, the Adani Group chairman Gautam Adani alleged that some people used the Hindenburg report for their own selfish reasons and that misconceptions were created on the news and social media platforms. But big investors have backed the group and bought heavily. The group sold shares in Adani Enterprises and Adani Green Energy through an open market transaction, raising 8,372 crore rupees. GQG Partners acquired shares worth 1,100 crore rupees in Adani Green Energy. The sale resulted in an increase in GQG's holdings in Adani Enterprises and Adani Green. The Adani family is believed to have used the proceeds to repay outstanding loans. The Reliance Capital saga may finally be coming to an end as the majority of creditors to Reliance Capital have reportedly voted in favor of the bid by Hinduja company in IndusInd International Holdings. The company has submitted a bid of 9,660 crore rupees. Lenders could recover about 10,000 crore rupees, almost 40% of the verified claims. Reliance Capital has cash of about 400 crore rupees. As many as 99.6% creditors have voted in favor of the proposal. Tata Sons has challenged 1,500 crore rupees tax claim settlement on defunct Docomo Telecom. During a hearing before the Goods and Services Tax official, Tata Sons reportedly challenged 1,500 crore rupees tax demand on its $1.27 billion settlement in 2017 with NTT Docomo. The Directorate General of the GST Intelligence has now moved to the Bombay High Court seeking an extension for the next hearing. The DGGI has asked for a 3-month extension since officials need to study the voluminous documents. And in more news on Tata's, the Competition Commission of India has issued a show-cause notice to Air India on its merger with Vistara. The Tata Group has 30 days to respond to the notice. In a big relief for embattled gofirst, the airline's lenders have granted approval for an interim funding of approximately 400 crore rupees, marking a key step in the ongoing efforts to keep the struggling airline afloat. The committee of creditors that includes Central Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Deutsche Bank and IDBI Bank approved the request for additional funding. GoFirst had recently sought additional funding from lenders, promising to get back to normalcy in operations at the earliest. Meanwhile, GoFirst announced that its scheduled flight operations will remain cancelled till July 6th. DGCA will audit the readiness of GoFirst to resume flights next week. From corporates now moving on to this week's big updates from the startup world. Let's get started. Online food and grocery delivery platform Swiggy's losses jumped 80% year-on-year in FY23, even as the gross merchandise value of its food delivery business grew 26%. The company's biggest investor, Process, has said this in its annual financial report on Tuesday. On the other hand, Process fintech investment Byju witnessed its revenue jump 31% in FY23 to $399 million, but saw a trading loss of $10 million as it shut down its LazyPay card business. It said that Byju India is close to a break-even. Technology giant Google will soon launch an accelerator program for the government-backed marketplace, the Open Network for Digital Commerce, that is ONDC. Under the accelerator program, participating businesses will gain access to cutting-edge technology and expert guidance from Google Cloud. The support from Google Cloud will enable businesses to seamlessly join the ONDC network and leveraging its extensive capabilities to enhance their operations and expand their reach in the digital marketplace. As part of this Accelerator program, Google Cloud will provide its core infrastructure application programming interfaces to ONDC participants as an open source solution. The tech giant will also provide retail search and generative AI to help enhance buyer and seller experiences on the network. Besides this, Google Cloud is also introducing an ONDC Startup Credits program where the ONDC participants can apply for a grant of up to $25,000. Higher education and upskilling focused edtech Upgrad is in talks to acquire US-based Udacity. According to media reports, Udacity, which has been in the block for a few months now, is talking about selling a majority stake through an equity swap. Udacity is currently valued at around $100 million. It had earlier quoted about $200 million to an earlier suitor. Udacity had a revenue of around $100 million, but it has been struggling with its customer retention rate of about 70%. Also, its B2C business has been struggling with 70 to 75% of the revenues coming from enterprise clients. And that's a wrap on Companynama this week. We'll be back next weekend, but to get your daily corporate updates, watch Corporate Central Monday to Friday, Money9's daily dose on corporates and markets. Have a safe weekend and don't forget to tune in to Money9.